U.S. President Donald Trump has said that U.S. holds all the cards in talks with Iran.
And speaking during an interview with Fox News, Trump warned that military action remains an option if talks fail to produce a favorable outcome. Listen to this.
Is there a line that they would cross for you to go on the offensive again militarily?
Well, a deal that wasn't going to be good for us is the line, ultimately, because, I'm playing it out and we're going to see. And that's what I do. I negotiate. They negotiate. They're very good negotiators. They're crafty. But in the end, we have all the cards because we've defeated them militarily.
Trump's comments come amid reports that the two sides have closed in on a framework for ceasefire extension, but Trump is yet to give his approval to the agreement.
Well, reports say that the two sides have reached an agreement to extend the ceasefire by 60 days. However, Iranian media reports have denied reaching any agreement, saying no Memorandum of Understanding has been finalized as of yet.
Separately, U.S. Vice President J.D. Vance has said that in terms of finalizing the deal with Iran, the U.S. is not there yet, but they're very close.
If you look at what we've already accomplished here, assuming that we're able to get to a final agreement here, we're reopening the Straits of Hormuz. We've already decimated their conventional military, and we're in a position where we could substantially set back their nuclear program, not just during the term of this president, but over the long term. That's a very, very good thing for the American people. So we're not there yet, but we're very close and we're going to keep on working at it.
Furthermore, U.S. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent has revealed that negotiating terms are going back and forth over a potential Iran deal. Speaking to reporters in Washington, Bessent predicted that oil and gas prices could come down very quickly after the war ends.
The Treasury Secretary also said that he has received an assurance from Oman that it has no plan to toll the Strait of Hormuz. Bessent's comments follow Trump's warning that the U.S. would blow up Oman if it entered into any agreement with Iran to charge tolls in the Strait of Hormuz. Listen to this.
I think the president wanted to punctuate freedom of navigation in the strait. I had a call with the Omani ambassador this morning, and he assured me that there were no plans for tolling the strait. As he said, our countries have had 200 years of good relations. He wants to have another 200 more.
However, Iranian Deputy Foreign Minister Qasem Garibabadi has said that Iran will not sign any agreement that does not align with its interests. Further, he has warned that Tehran will respond to any violation of the ceasefire by the United States.
About what the actions of Americans and what they are saying. What matters to us are the official messages we receive, and naturally, Iran will not accept anything that is not in line with our interests and those of our country. And this is the reason it is taking a few days to make sure everything is in line with our interests.
Meanwhile, Iran's supreme leader Moshtaba Khamenei has accused the U.S. trying to create division and social fragmentation to compensate for its failures. Moshtaba Khamenei's statement was read by a TV presenter on Iranian state television.
Even as hectic diplomacy continues in the background, the situation on the ground remains intense. In the latest, Iranian state television claimed that it destroyed a U.S. aircraft near Jam in Bushehr province, but U.S. military has denied the report, with Central Command saying that no U.S. aircraft has been shot down and all U.S. air assets are fully accounted for.
And amid all these developments, Pakistan Foreign Minister Shakhdar will reach Washington today, where he is slated to meet U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio. And this visit comes as Islamabad is attempting to negotiate a peace pact to permanently end the U.S.-Israeli war with Iran. Alan, to discuss more, we are now being joined by Dr. Alan Burstein from Boston. He is a professor of political science and a Israel Institute fellow at Tufts University. Thank you so much for joining us on the broadcast. Appreciate you taking your time. Let's begin right in. Every other day we see both sides nearing good talks, and then until it is not a good talk. And then according to you, are we watching another temporary ceasefire cycle, or is this now a region fundamentally entering a long-term U.S.-Israel-Iran confrontation era?
Thank you for having me. What we're talking about right now, even according to the most optimistic visions of the both sides, is in fact just a 60-day, not even agreement. It's a memorandum of understanding in order to negotiate an agreement. So we're really nowhere near looking at something like a new era of at least a lack of confrontation between the sides. All this does is push things a little bit forward. It will allow for the opening of the Straits of Hormuz. Mostly what it will allow will be for Trump to go back to his base, the United States, and say, look, I've opened the Straits of Hormuz and the economy is doing better. And for Iran to come back and say, look, we forced the United States to withdraw and we got some of the assets that we have frozen coming back to us. We will be negotiating then for another 2 months. And only then will we know if we're heading towards another round of escalation or towards de-escalation. At this point, this is just postponing the current situation.
Of course, Dr. Bernstein, what we're seeing is diplomacy and, of course, the military threats are planning out in, simultaneously. But now, of course, the point of contention, it remains the same, which is the nuclear issue and opening of the Strait of Hormuz. Now, what we want to understand is that what is impeding this peace deal? Is it perhaps, Trump's ever-shifting posture, where he's oscillating between, conciliation and coercion, which is perhaps impeding this peace deal? And the unpredictability is, of course, warning Iran to take a step back and lead with caution in this situation.
So right now, both sides have really climbed very high up on their horses or high up in their trees, and they haven't been willing to climb back down. What Trump has demanded is a complete opening of the Straits of Hormuz and no tolls and no anything that will come about with that, and also some sort of agreement that will lead to an end of Iran's nuclear program. Trump has given up on things like the missile program and the proxies. They're no longer mentioned. Iran has demanded that the United States withdraw its forces from the Persian Gulf, as well as the immediate unfreezing of at least half of their assets, and that is about $12 billion. Both sides said the other one needs to go first. The United States has to first unfreeze our assets, and then we can talk about the nuclear program that Iran has said. The United States has said first we have to come to an agreement on the nuclear program, then we can unfreeze the assets. So that's really where we're stuck. Both sides right now are just saying we've agreed on what we should do, but the other one needs to take the first step. Both leaders right now, by the way, have not answered yet. Trump has said he's taking a few days to think about it. In Iran, it's reported that Mujtaba Khamenei, the supreme leader, himself has not given his blessing to this yet. This was agreed upon by the negotiators. Steve Witkoff and Abbas Araghchi and Mohammad Ghalibaf are the ones that agreed. But the leaders have not agreed yet, and each one is waiting to see how the other one maybe will take the first step so they can go back and say, look, I defeated them, I made them to take the first step. That's where we're stuck right now.
And while this all goes on, we have Trump, of course, warning that U.S. would blow up Oman if it entered any agreement with Tehran. Now, these warnings coming at a time when Oman has been one of the party that has been part of these negotiations. How do you see Trump's reaction, and how do you predict the Gulf states and Oman reacting to these comments coming from Trump?
I think that the Gulf states primarily are going to try to look at this as one of those things that Trump says that maybe he didn't mean. I think that they really would like that to not be a credible threat, because everyone knows that Trump is really emotional and very reactionary, and he very, very quickly can escalate a situation. We saw this with his meeting with Zelensky in Ukraine, and that's why all of the leaders want to be on his good side. We see this with Netanyahu, the leaders of Qatar, Saudi Arabia. They're always trying to make sure Trump likes them. And the fact that he could say something like this about Oman, not only a close U.S. ally, but also one of the main negotiators, they were the negotiator of the nuclear talks between the sides, really is something that the Gulf countries would like to just say, let's just pretend that didn't happen, because that's a dangerous escalation. Why did Trump say that himself? There's been a lot of different rumors. Some have attributed it to a tactic showing I'm willing to blow up the Middle East, don't mess with me. Others are attributing it to a complete mistake, that Trump meant to say that he would blow up Iran and said Oman. I've seen credible reports saying both things, and I think everyone, including Trump, would like to just pretend that that didn't happen because it's a complication of his relationship with Qatar, Bahrain, Saudi Arabia. I think they're all wishing that he had not said that at this point.
All right. Well, of course, it looks like, of course, we have to wait for the agreement to even happen because we haven't seen an agreement, and Iran saying that we haven't agreed for any kind of ceasefire. We'll have to wait and see what that happens, and of course, to go forward to see how talks happen. Of course, thank you so much for coming on our show and giving your opinions. Appreciate it very much.
Thank you. Have a good day.